girls, this lesson, it's just a recap of what we did basic trigonometry last year. It's nothing new, okay? We're just going to go through the basic trig ratios, okay? So girls, when you have a right triangle, okay, we know the longer side here is the hypotenuse. This side opposite to the marked angle is opposite, and the leftover side is adjacent, which is always between the right angle and the marked angle, yep? And we learned from last year, girls, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Do you remember the cos one? Cosine one? Adjacent over hypotenuse and opposite over adjacent. Yes, sokatua, remember? Now, don't worry about these 3 points. Let's get on to the question. The first thing that you always want to do is label the sides of a triangle. As you can see, we've got the longer side here with a number. So that's H. There's nothing there, so there's no need to label that side because there's nothing there. But here, we've got W, which represents what? Adjacent. Yep. So we've got A and H, which means I'm going to use, cosine, because that's got A and H. So that means cosine of the angle 35 degrees, and that's 26 minutes, is equal to, A comes on top. What's my A in this case? W, and my H is 15.6. Now, if the unknown is on top, you multiply the number across. That will give you the answer, okay? So W is equal to 15.6 times cosine 35 degrees and 26 minutes. If I put that in the calculator quickly, that's 12.7. Okay? You girls know how to type the degree and the minute sign? You're just typing the degree sign again. Yep. Same thing here, girls. Let's label. Girls, what's that? I tricked you there. Girls, opposite of the right angle is another way to check the hypotenuse. All right. Opposite to the angle is opposite, but the opposite to the right angle is always the hypotenuse, if you want to double check. Yep. So, we got own... Can you not... All right, okay. You got own H, that's sine. 67.8. What am I writing? What's my O? 12. What's my K? Oh, sorry. It's my H, K. Yeah, girls, if you got the unknown letter at the bottom, you divide the 12 and the trig function. Okay, like that. Okay, that's what I mean by if the x is at the bottom, you divide it, but when you divide it, write it as a fraction. Okay, so in the calculator, you can write 12 divided by sine. Okay. Girls, I get 12.96. I'm just going to round it up to 13. Okay? Now, when it comes to finding the angle, let's once again label the sides. What's that? Opposite. What's that? Adjacent. O and A, what am I using? 10. So, because we're looking for an angle, there's no actual number. That's what you write. 35 over 24. To find an angle, to find theta, you shift whatever the trig ratio you got, and then press the degree sign. So in this case, if you press shift 10, that, you'll get the angle.
So that's inverse.
Yeah, that's the inverse of that. That's right. You'll get 55.56, but if you want to change that to degree sign, press the degree button, and that will get you 55 degrees, 33 minutes, and 39.64 seconds. Girls, from here, if I asked you to round it to the nearest minute, what would it be? Girls, if that is 30 or more, this goes up. So this is 55 degrees and 34 minutes because that is bigger than 30. Girls, if I were to round this to the nearest degree then, would it be 55 degrees or 56? 56 because this is 30 or more, so that it goes up. Yeah, so it really depends on what they ask. All right, girls, those are the basic questions. Now, we also need to be able to solve worded problems. Have a look at the example over here. The angle of elevation from a yacht. Yeah, so from the yacht, girls, angle of elevation is when you look up at something, okay? It's the angle it makes when you look up at something. In this case, to the top of a cliff is 18 degrees. If the yacht is 190 meters from the base, girls, remember the key word is base. They don't always give you the diagram. Actually, in the exercise, you need to draw the diagram yourself. If it says the word base, that's always the horizontal line, the bottom, 190. As labeled, okay? Find correctly the one decimal place the height of the cliff. Obviously, they're asking you for that height over there. So what I'm going to do is redraw that diagram on the board to label this unknown sides. Okay, so that's, let's just call it example D. So if I redraw that, okay, it's going to be a right angle here. What's that again? 18 degrees.
190.
This is 190
Yeah.
meters?
Yeah.
Yeah, and girls, that's what they're asking for. And because that represents the height of the cliff, I'm going to write H.
10.
Yeah, so girls, if I label it now, that's the opposite. This is adjacent, so it's 10. Okay? You'll find most of the trig problems that's related to real life, you're always going to be using 10. What am I writing? The O over A? What's my O?
H over 190.
H over 190. Unknowns on top, so what do? It times across, so H is equal to that. Girls, when it comes to timesing, you actually don't have to write the times sign in between. You can just write like the number and the trig ratio together like that.
61.7.
Oh, okay, thanks. 61.7. Okay, so that's how you do angle of elevation problem. Now, when it comes to angle of depression, which is the next example, let me scroll down. Because it's honestly the same thing. Angle of depression, angle of elevation, same thing, just different words. All right. So the difference is, girls, the angle of depression of a boat from the top of a cliff is 8 degrees. So what that means in real life, let's say you're on the top of a cliff. If you were to look down to the boat, it makes an angle of 8 degrees in between the boat and your line of sight. Remember that word?
Yeah.
Girls, a common mistake is students write 8 degrees in there. It's actually there, not there. Okay? Right. Now, if the boat is 350 meters from the base, once again, that's the base, the bottom. What is the height of the cliff? So once again, let's just redraw the diagram. So let's call it example E. All right. Girls, if it's 8 degrees there, it's also 8 degrees there because alternate angles are the same. Yeah, so girls, if it says angle of depression, really it's the same question as angle of elevation. Okay? They just want you to know the difference in the meaning. Once again, 10. That's opposite, that's adjacent. So 10, 8 is equal to H over 350. What do? Times it. Yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. And the answer is? Okay. Let's just call it 49. Okay? Pretty straightforward, yeah? Alright, girls, that's it from me. Do the rest of the exercise. I'll give you the handout soon.